Hey, welcome. This is Dr. Paul Dyer. Welcome to Dr. Paul Weekly. Just want to talk to you about communication, conversations, and conflict. A lot of those things that we are experiencing in conversations is conflict. And it's not the conflict that we're having with the person, it's communication we're not having with ourselves. With all things that when we talk to some people, we know that we're often trying to listen and to hear and be kind, and we try and we work on compassion, but we're missing another piece. That piece is that forgiveness and compassion for yourself, because you have to open up. You really do have to, and it's tough to make a demand and saying what you should be doing, right? Because should is such an evil, awful word. But if you're not opening up yourselves to your own pain and discomfort of a conversation or someone else's life, or because you have your own perception of what you think your life should be, you're drowning out the conversation. And then if you're drowning out the conversation with your internal self, I'm not sure how you can communicate with others to listen to themselves and listen to what they are and what they have and what they're going through. You know, I was often told, because sometimes they just don't get sarcasm in any form, but then they say, well, communication is so many things. It's gestures, it's facial expressions and things like that. But if your vision is going off of your past experience and emotional self, then you're not really listening to what words are saying. Because words you're saying also to yourself. So the way through that is to develop a clear, intentional conversation with yourself and why you're having a conversation with someone else. Because if you're looking only to get something out that you are looking for, then you're missing all things said to you. All things said to you. And this probably has a lot to do with how we communicate with our higher self, our higher being, our Savior, our our God. We seem to have a one-way conversation when it's a two-way. What are things being spoken to you? How are you listening? How are you opening up your heart? How are you feeling and expressing your pain to yourself? How are you understanding what your emotions are doing? This is the conflict. So that conflict you're having with yourself is often you're developing a lack of communication, which is very difficult for you to have with others. That's that quiet space. That's that. And I understand we need to work on those practices and those meditations and those prayers and those things and this journaling, those things that we call a practice. But then there's an education of understanding. What is it about me that I'm missing? Asking those simple questions. Asking those simple things. Because we're looking for answers. Answers don't always come in communication. It just comes from expression. Answers don't come from just communication. It comes from understanding. And the understanding that we have is often what we allude to in our defined definitions to what we're hearing from others and to ourselves. Please work on this. You can always contact me on drpaulholisticscience.com, and you can also catch my other podcasts, Dr. Paul Weekly Wednesday and Bridges Live. You can always listen to me on iHeart and iTunes Radio, and we hope that we continue this, we keep doing this, and we get better, because it's a journey. It's a journey. It's a journey. It's not a destination. We've heard this before, and I have to keep saying it again. Right? That's why we develop. That's why we grow. That's why we have seasonal change. That's why if you look at the seasons now, it's fall and it's changing into this winter. We all change. We have to change. We are a development of change. We change. It's evolutionary. So allow yourself to change. I'm Dr. Paul, Weekly.